Hold on, let's go to Yud Zion, Yud Zion.
Yud Zion. Okay.
Oh wait, am I in the right place? Yes, I'm in the right place. Yeah. Oh wait, you know what's wrong? My page is in the wrong place. I'm looking in the Okay. Yud Zion, Yud Zion.
Okay. The base of smith is tummy, but that of a blacksmith is tahor. A sharpening board that has a receptacle for holding oil is tummy, but a sharpening board that does not have a receptacle is tahor. A ledger that has a receptacle for holding wax is tummy, but a ledger that does not have a receptacle is tahor. And regarding a straw mat or a straw tube, Rabbi Kiva rules it tummy, but Rabbi Yuchanan ben Nori rules it tahor. Rabbi Shimon says the same applies to colon since I can't spell it.
I see that. I read that and I see silicon.
Yeah, I can. A mat of reeds of sledge is tahor, and a reed mat that was cut for the purpose of being used as a receptacle is tahor until one removes all of the pit. Okay, one more. Regarding a bin, Resh Shammai says it is measured from its interior, but Beis Hillel says it's measured from its exterior. Both agree that the thickness of the legs and the thickness of the rims are not measured. Rabbi Yossi says they agree that the thickness of the legs and the thickness of the rims are measured, but the area between the legs is not measured. And Shimon Suri says if the legs were one ply, then the area between them is not measured, but if not, the area between them is measured. Regarding its wheel, when it is removable, it is not considered connected to the bin. It is not measured together with the bin. It does not protect against tuma together with the bin when they are an ohel over a corpse, and we may not drag it over the Shabbos when there is money inside it. But if the wheel is not removable, it is considered connected to the bin. It is considered together with the bin. It protects against tumah together with the bin, and when they are a hole over a corpse, and we may drag it on Shabbos, even though there is money inside it. Regarding its cover, when it is permanently set, it is considered connected to the bin, and it is measured together with the bin. But if it is not permanently set, it is not considered connected to the bin, and it is not measured together with the bin. However, how is it measured? By drawing a diagonal line. Rabbi Yehuda says if the bin cannot stand by itself, it is tahor. Okay.
So let's say you've got these chests over here, the bin, chest, and closet that have had one of the legs broken off. So now it's wobbling. Okay. Even though they can still contain things, they are considered tahor. Thus says Tanakama. Rabbi Yossi Matame. But if they cannot contain in the usual manner, then Rabbi Yossi still rules them tame. So now what's the case over here is that according to Rabbi Yossi, the bin, chest, or closet is not considered a utensil of great proportions, so it is susceptible to tumah. For though it can potentially hold 40 sa'ah, since it does not contain this amount when it is standing in an upright position as it was designed to function, it cannot be deemed to have this capacity in practice. Okay, from the fact that our Mishna states that it is Rabbi Yossi who rules these utensils susceptible to tumah, we can infer that Chachamim disagree. In their opinion, since in the final analysis, the utensil can contain 40 sa'ah, albeit only when it's tilted to one side, it is defined as a utensil of great proportions and therefore is impervious to tumah. You see that the broken leg actually works as a chumrah in this case, because the broken leg removes the ability to hold the 40 sa'ah. Right. So now it actually becomes susceptible to tumah. But the point, with the legs broken off and they can still contain, so that's still tahor because they're still able to hold the 40 sa'ah.
Yeah.
Cannot contain this amount when standing upright, but only when tilted to one side. Yeah, so that's still considered. So that is still considered tahor. It's still considered as if it's a kli of great proportions. Naklitza mita v'chamor v'chipui tahorim. So now this is the bed with the curtain above it. It's not a four-poster bed, and that's actually quite an important piece. Is that the four-poster would make it into a cover of some sort. So we're talking about where there's one pole at each end of the bed and a sheet draped over the crossbar. Okay, so So those coverings are tahor. They're not considered part of the bed. You're not resting your body on them or anything like that. So the ein tame illa mita umalbein. The only tame parts of the bed are the bed itself and the malbein. Now the malbein, you can see in the little diagram over there, that's a little square that you put under the bed as a stabilizer.
Okay.
Okay, you can see over there, and so you can see the three parts of the foot, the malbein and the lashon.
Right.
Okay, so but the malbenim of Bnei Levi are tahor. Now, why are the Bnei Levi tahor? Because the Levium used to dismantle the bed when they were traveling between their homes in Jerusalem, which they did fairly frequently. Let's just see. Okay, the Levites would frequently travel from city to city on their way to Jerusalem. Okay, so they would regularly travel to Jerusalem to serve in the temple. When traveling, they would not carry their beds with them, but they would remove the beds malbanim and take them along. Or alternatively, they would take the beds with them and leave the malbanim below. So therefore, although the malbanim were also attached tightly to the legs of the bed, since they would often be removed, the malbain was not considered an integral part of the bed and did not share the tumor susceptible status. Okay. Now, Mishnah Daled.
I find it interesting, by the way, that I don't know if it has anything to do with it. I don't know how it's spelled, but we use our language as we call it Lushan,
Yeah,
Lashon.
lashon is a tongue.
Right, and it says
Yeah.
tongue here. So is that the same way it's spelled?
Yep,
Lashon.
yep, it's the same word. Same word.
It's interesting
Yeah,
that they do that.
it's a little. I guess it's shaped like a tongue. I don't know. Anyway, malbain she'nesano al lishonos. So any malbain that was placed upon tongues. Okay, we're using exactly these terms again.
Right.
Yeah. So Rabbi Meir the Rabbi Yehuda mitam in. So Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda say that these are tame because they're taking the weight of the bed. Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Shimon mitarin, and they say it's tahor. So it says. So we just learned in the previous Mishnah that these lishonos of the Levium, which are dismantled all the time, are tahor. So Rabbi Yossi says Masha nazim al bnei Levi, because this is exactly the same sort of setup as the Levite beds, right? Shemal bnei Levi Torim, and we just learned in the previous Mishnah that, and everyone agrees that the Malbanim of the Levites are tahor. So what is the reasoning of Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda? Is according to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, since the tongues were attached to the malbanim in a fixed way and moved together with the bed when the bed is carried, they are considered as one with the malbain and consequently with the bed. Okay. And finally, Mishnah Hay. Mita shehaisa tamea midras. So you have a bed that became tame because a zav slept in it. Okay. So the whole bed is tame. But now part of the bed was removed. So so you see the diagram on the left side of 833,
Right.
where we took of the short side and two legs. So now what's left of this bed? I mean, we're assuming that there's still a base over there. You're looking at it; it's got fresh air, but there's obviously that's just shown for clarity of the diagram. But if you had a bed on there, if you put a base on there, somebody could still sleep on it at an angle, right? It's not that. I mean, we do this, if you on planes all the time, people sleep at an angle, so it's not. So it's still a bed, and it still can be useful as a bed, and therefore it's still tame. Aruka b'shtei if the long side gets taken off, that's the next diagram over there, where it's now tilted to the side. That's tahor. Nobody's going to sleep on that. Okay, because they're going to just roll out of bed. Rabbi Nechemia matame. Rabbi Nechemia says that even when the longboard is taken out, it's still tame because the bed can still be used to sleep on either by propping it up on the side of another bed or some other common household item. Okay, Tanakama says the bed has lost its original functionality; it can't stand by itself, and therefore it is now tahor. Okay. Gadad shtei lishanos lochsan. If he broke off the two opposite diagonal tongues, or gadad shte kira'ayin tefach al tefach lochsan. If you broke off the opposite, like a tefach and a tefach on two opposite diagonally opposite legs, or he reduced the bed itself to less than the height of a tefach, it now becomes tahor. Because if you taking off the diagonally opposite beds, then it's going to rock and it's not going to be comfortable to sleep on. And similarly, if it's cut down too low, it's no longer useful as a bed. If it's below a tefach, the point of a bed is it's got to be higher up so you can sit on it and go and lie down. This is no longer a bed, and that would be tahor. Okay.
We are on test Zion Dalet.
Okay.
At what point do leather utensils become susceptible to contacting tuma? A shepherd's pouch from whom when the craftsman edges it and trims it and he inserts his drawstrings. Rabbi Yehuda says from when he attaches its loops. A leather tanner's apron from when he edges it and trims it and attaches its sashes. And Rabbi Yehuda says from when he attaches its the leather bed spread from when he edges, and Rabbi Yehuda says from when he attaches its strings. A pillow and a mattress of leather are susceptible from when he fully stitches them and trims them. And Rabbi Yehuda says from when he sews them and he leaves over in them a space smaller than 5 to 5. But the tefillah is tameh, but its kasina is tahor. Fruit covers made of leaves are tahor, but those made of twigs are tameh. A wrap into which one places fruits and from which one removes them is tameh, but it cannot sew without tearing or untying it is tahor. If the leather glove of a winnowers, wayfarers, or flax workers is tameh, but the glove of dyers and blacksmiths is tahor. Yossi says also the glove of beam grinders are the same as they. This is the general rule of the glove that is meant to hold things is tameh, but that which is used to be cause of translation is tahor.
That's it. Okay.
That's it.
And hey Aleph.
Okay, hey Aleph. An earthenware fragment that cannot stand before its handle, or it has a protrusion, or the protrusion tilted, is tahor. If the handle was removed, the protrusion broke off.
Whoa. Hey Aleph.
I thought it was hey bet. Wait, hey.
Hey Aleph, yeah.
Oh my God. Just did this yesterday. I put it in the wrong place. Hey Aleph. I'm sorry. And of its beginning is 4 handbreadth, and its remainder of 4 handbreadth. These are the words of Rav Meir, but the comments say when they do apply in the case of a large oven, but in the case of a small oven, its beginning is the smallest amount, and the remnants are the majority of it. The above applies from the time its manufacture is complete. What is considered the completion of its manufacture? When one heats it enough to make sponge cakes in it. Rabbi Yehuda says when one heats a new oven enough to bake sponge cakes in it is an old oven. The stove, its beginning is 3 finger breadth, and its remnants are 3 finger breadths from the time of manufacture is completed. What is considered the completion of the manufacture? From the time when heats enough to cook on it, the most easily cooked egg, which has been beaten and put into a stew pot. A pot, if one made of it for baking, is measured as that of an oven. If one made it for cooking, its measure is that of a stove. A stove that just out one hand breadth from an oven or 3 finger breadths from a stove is a connection. A stove that just out from a kupok, if one made it for baking, its measure is that of an oven. If one made it for cooking, its measure is that of a stove. As Yehuda said, they only said 1 hand breadth between the oven and the wall. If 2 ovens are adjacent to each other, 1 hand breadth is allowed to one oven and 1 hand breadth to the other oven, and the remainder is tahor. The rim of the stove is tahor, but the enclosure of an oven, which is 4 handbreadths high, it contracts tuma via contact in airspace, but less than this is a tahor. And if it was connected to the oven, even if on 3 stones, it is tameh. The flask receptacle and the spice receptacle and the lamp receptacle of a stove contract tuma via contact, but do not contract tuma via airspace. These are the words of Rav Meir and Rosh Mishna El Muslim tahor.
Okay.
Okay, base hay. We keep no less than 6 inspected lambs in the chamber of the lambs, sufficient for Shabbos and for the 2 festival days of Rosh Hashanah. And we may add any number. We take no less than 2 trumpets, and we may add any number. We take no less than 9 harps, and we may add any number, but there is only 1 cymbal. We have no fewer than 12 Levites standing on the platform, and we may add any number. The minor may not enter the temple court for the service, except when the Levites are standing in song, and they would not join in song with the lyre and harp, but by mouth, in order to add harmony to the melody. But Elias ben Yaakov says they do not count in the number, and they do not stand on a platform, but they would stand on the ground with their heads between the legs of the Levites, and they were called the Levium tormentors. There is no law to the Or of Rockland in implement of leniency as well as an element of stringency. There is to the law of the ancestral field an element of leniency as well as an element of stringency. There is to the law of the Muad bull that killed the slave an element of leniency as well as an element of stringency. And there are the laws of the violate. There are to the laws of the violator, the seducer, and the defamer elements of leniency as well as elements of stringency. There is to the law of Arakan an element of leniency as well as an element of stringency. How so?
Wait, hold on. Okay, carry on. Okay, beg your pardon. Carry on.
When he vowed the Eric of the handsomest in Israel or the ugliest in Israel, he gives 50 Salem. But if he said, I take upon myself to give his worth, he must give his worth.
That's it. Now we're done. Okay, Sanhedrin.
Okay, test head. Someone who is flogged twice is placed by the court in a cell where he is fed barley until his stomach bursts. Someone who is murdered without witnesses to that effect is placed in a cell where he is fed spare bread and scant water. One who steals a servant's vessel blasphemes by a supernatural force or habitates with a Gentile woman, and zealots may smite him. If a Kohen serves while Tomei, his brother Kohanim did not bring him in court. Rather, the young Kohanim moved him from the courtyard and split his skull with clubs. The non-Kohen who serves in the temple, Rabbi Akiva says he is executed by strangulation, but the sages say he's by the hand of heaven. All Israel has a share in the world to come, as it is stated, your people are all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands is glorified. These are they are the ones who have no share in the world to come, one who says there is no basis for the resurrection of the Torah, and one who says that the Torah is not free from heaven, but an abakoros. But Akiva says also one who reads eternal books, and one who whispers over a wound and says, all the diseases I have placed upon Egypt I shall not place upon you, because I am Hashem your healer. Rashul says also one who edits a name according to his letters. Three kings before.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sukkah, hey. On the eve of the Sabbath during Sukkot, there were 48, 3 for the opening of the gates, 3 for the upper gate, 3 for the lower gate, 3 at the filling of the waters, 3 on top of the altar, 9 for the 9 for the daily burnt offerings, 9 for the daily offering burnt offerings, and 9 for the Musaf offerings. 3 to stop the people from work, and 3 to distinguish between the sacred and the secular. On the first festival day of Sukkot, there were 13 bullocks, 2 rams, and 1 he-goat. There remained 14 yearling sheep for 8 watches. On the first day, 6 of the watches offered up 2 sheep, and the rest offered 1 each. On the second day, 5 offered up 2 each, and the rest 1 each. On the third day, 4 offered up 2 each, and the rest 1 each. On the fourth day, they offered up 3, 2 each, and the rest 1 each. On the fifth day, they offered up 2 each, and the rest 1 each. On the sixth day, they offered up 2, and the rest 1 each. On the seventh day, all were equal. On the eighth day, they reverted to casting lots as to the other festivals. The comments said, whoever offered up bullocks, they should not offer them tomorrow, but they took turns in rotation. During periods of the year, all 24 watches were equal and prescribed offerings of the festival and the division of the panim bread. On Shavuos, they would say to him, here is your matzah for you, here is a chametz for you. If one day intervened between them, the watch whose time was fixed took 10 loaves, and the one that stayed behind took 2 loaves. But during the rest of the year, the incoming watch took 6 loaves, and the outgoing watch took 6. But Yehuda says the incoming watch took 7, and the outgoing watch took 5. The incoming watch divided the bread in the north, and the outgoing watch in the south. The watch of the Bilga always divided the bread into the south, and the ring was permanently fixed, and the window was sealed.
And tomorrow we move on to Beitzah.
Okay, barachos. But Shammai says one wipes his hands with a napkin and places it on the table, and Beis Hillel says on the cushion. Shammai says the room is swept first, and afterwards the hands are washed, but Beis Hillel says the hands are washed and then the room is clean. Beis Shammai says light, grace, spices, and Havdalah. Beis Hillel says light, spices, grace, and Havdalah. And Shammai says, who created the fire, light of the fire? And Beis Hillel says, who creates the lights of the fire? Right? That's it.
One more.
Really?
Vav, yeah.
No blessing may be recited over the light of spices over the Gentiles, and not over the light of spices used for the dead, and not over the light and spices placed before idols. No blessing recited over the candle until benefit is derived from its light.
Okay. Shkoyach.
Up to you. Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a wonderful day.
So I don't know what I'm going to do about my